Now, providing decent and affordable housing remains one of the country's greatest challenges. This problem is largely felt by the country's low-income earners whose housing needs appear less attractive to property developers. But on the real issue this week, we look at how some financial institutions are pushing the limits to fund housing projects for this segment of the market.
Wazungu
80 kilometers south of the city of Nairobi, a housing estate is flourishing. Habiba Muhammad has been a resident of this estate for the last 1 year. She warmly ushers us into her home, a home she's happily paying her way to own bit by bit after leaving the sprawling Kibera slum in Nairobi.
Mimi nakaa hapo maisha yangu, Mungu anisaidie, hata majirani yangu mimi nawacha Kibera yote yakuja hapo.
Translated, I'm very happy. I don't want to go back to Kibera. I'm living well here and I wish all my former neighbors in Kibera would come here. This backyard garden is what makes a joy of owning a home complete. Here I grow vegetables, tomatoes, some mangoes, pawpaws, sugarcane, literally everything, she says. Patrick Kuria, a former resident of the populous Huruma area in Nairobi's Eastlands, shares that joy of owning his living space too.
A lot of space, and more so the rent here is, the much I pay for the house is cheaper. If I compare my life here and my life back in Huruma, it's far much better and affordable here. Because there I was paying rent every month, the house wasn't mine and the rent was a bit high because it was about 7,500 per month. So you can see the difference. And when I took the house, the principal pay for the house was 350,000. I pay 3,000 shillings per month and I'll pay for 15 years, which is affordable for the moment.
Habiba and Kuria are among the beneficiaries of the multi-billion shilling Jamii Bora Macau housing project here in Kapute in Kajiado County. The project aims to permanently house 2,000 families from low-income households by the end of 2012. Stationed on an area of land stretching over 200 acres, Jamii Bora Macau has so far sheltered 600 families in 2- and 4-bedroom units. Here, the occupants, most of whom are members of Jamii Bora Trust Microfinance, access home loans at a 14% interest rate payable over a 5 to 20 years period under an arrangement called a tenancy agreement.
Basically, we allow them to pay a rent, and that rent goes towards paying down the principal of the house. So basically, we are providing them a mortgage. They can rent the house, and while they're paying their rent, they're also acquiring the house over time. Now, they always have an option at some point in the future, if they obtain a mortgage or if they want to pay off the house, they always can do that. That's what we call the option to purchase.
This model of home ownership is a demonstration of how the formal banking system is beginning to recognize the need to finance the dream of providing decent and affordable housing to the country's informal settlers, many of whom have long been at the periphery of Kenya's real estate market.
Because Jamii Bora has a long history of providing microfinance loans and microfinance programs, we are well equipped to understand that segment of the population, and we know how to deal with them.
And barely a month ago, Family Bank ventured into the mortgage market with a product dubbed Growing Home, which is designed for low-income earners.
Most people are looking for houses of maybe 1 million, 2 million shillings, but they cannot get it. So at Family, we realized that we need to come up with something that will address the needs of this market segment, and that's where we came up with the Growing Home package.
The plan is purely driven by the borrower's need, as it allows for a step-by-step approach in financing home ownership, rather than focus on financing the purchase of an already completed unit, as has been the case in the conventional mortgage market. This is in turn expected to ease the pressure of house prices by reducing the gap that currently exists between supply and demand for housing, which at present stands at 150,000 units annually.
When we address the needs of this market segment, we will be able to have more people owning homes and therefore reducing the demand and be able to bridge that gap.
Another mortgage provider, Housing Finance, also has somewhat similar construction loan facility dubbed Macau, a product that also incorporates professionals in the build industry to assist in delivering low-cost homes. Ready land or plot is a prerequisite for the product, which attracts a 14% interest charge on a reducing balance and payable within a maximum of 20 years.
Housing Finance has structured about 13 prototypes which have been priced, where we say this house is 2 million, this house is 1.5 million to build. We also have other suppliers or partners. We are talking of people who supply the inputs, and we have negotiated the price that if your property is delivered through Macau, you have a 20% savings if you went to the market on your own.
Narrowing the gap between the number of homeowners and the homeless is indeed the hope of all these financial institutions. But then again, there is the challenge of the escalating cost of construction. For Jamii Bora, this has been a hard nut to crack as it raises the end price tag of the housing units it helps to put up.
Today, I mean, the price have changed over the life of the program, obviously. We started at 400,000 for a two-bedroom bungalow. Today, the price is about 1.2 million for a two-bedroom bungalow. And the change in price is just a reflection of the change of cost of living. We're going to have to continue to work hard on supply chain management, trying to lower the cost, working on technology, trying to find a way to bring it down.
But it is hoped that the scenario will change as more players bring on board replaceable and sustainable housing models that will boost efforts to provide affordable and decent housing for the nation.